Forget about the One UI 7. The better for Samsung Galaxy users to leave the Android 15 catastrophe behind them. Already strange going into 2025, the optics around this important upgrade with its revolutionary security and privacy changes were. But no one anticipated that by summer we would still be discussing the One UI 7 release. Still, some Galaxy phones won't be updated until July. With its proprietary the One UI 8 running on top of the Android 16 operating system upgrade, Samsung has kept working on Android 16. The first signs of the company's work were in the basic Galaxy S25 recently discovered in a benchmark leak. While the flagship ends up showing up to a 32% performance increase over the comparable Galaxy S25 running the One UI 7, we can anticipate the other two models to come up as well in the next weeks. We cannot verify if Samsung has used some magic or whether it is a good old-fashioned hard effort to provide an efficient update. The gadget in question displays the model number S931B, and it is packed with Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite combined with 12 GB RAM. While it is predictable to notice the Galaxy S25 on Geekbench 6's database when tested on the One UI 8, the amazing thing about this upgrade is the change in both single-core and multi-core results. Out of curiosity, we examined the current Galaxy S25 results while running the One UI 7 on top of Android 15, with the greatest variance in scores coming from the single-threaded results. The Galaxy S25 running the One UI 8 achieves a score of 3,057 and 9,909 in the single-core and multi-core categories, respectively, while the handset powered by the One UI 7 secures 2,314 and 9,158 points. These differences suggest that Samsung's the One UI 8 will be less resource-intensive when running background applications, allowing the Galaxy S25 to have more CPU and GPU juice, remaining to post a higher score in benchmarks. But this change also represents that the upcoming update will deliver a more polished user experience. We will definitely wait for additional scores to come up and see if the same variances develop. But if you want to experience the One UI 8 in the future on the Galaxy S25, we advise buying a unit from Amazon, which is now $100 cheap. Oftentimes, the requirements on paper may not translate all that well in real-world use situations, and a future system upgrade can make a world of a difference. Samsung's One UI 7 wrap over Android 15 is great, and the modifications to maximum restrictions are especially nice. But the One UI 8 goes farther, and your Galaxy phones will be significantly safer and more secure with the update. So maybe it's a plus that the Galaxy maker would likely push out Android 16 as well. It can to recover the One UI 7 problem as best it can. With Apple overtaking Android's dominant OEM on the best-selling phone list for the first time, the stakes are high. In some ways, Android 16 allows other OEMs, even Google's Pixel, to catch up with Samsung. The new Advanced Protection mode is a sort of maximum restrictions that will be globally accessible. And just like with Samsung, this provides dangerous network blocks, including 2G, sideloading blocks, safer surfing, and theft prevention. It also summarizes up Google's numerous new spam safeguards. Android authorities' breakdown of the new Play Services APK claims Android 16's Advanced Protection mode will offer a one-click toggle that enables a plethora of security settings across the OS and even external apps. That's essential, as Android's premium phones, notably Samsung's, hunt down Apple's iPhone. We know Samsung is far advanced with the One UI 8, and we know it wants, and needs, a speedier, more seamless deployment. The issue is if your phone is slated to receive it. If you possess a fairly recent flagship, the Galaxy S series S22 or above, possibly also the S21 FE or a Galaxy Z Flip 4 or Z Fold 4, then you should get the update. The websites also list qualified I series, Tab series, F series, and M series phones. As for time, Sam Mobile says that the One UI 8 could start rolling out by late July or early August. That's simply conjecture based on what our sources have informed us, but given the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Z Flip 7 are debuting with the One UI 8 pre-installed, we should anticipate it to start finding its way to eligible devices considerably sooner than any prior version of One UI, not just the One UI 7. Let's hope that's accurate, and One UI 7 is quickly forgotten. We'll offer our initial impressions on the One UI 8 and explore what could change in the near future. Our hands-on experience comes courtesy of an early build loaded on a Galaxy Z Fold 6 device. Our immediate takeaway: the One UI 8, at this point, seems nearly comparable to the One UI 7. Of course, it's not unexpected that the One UI 7 is comparable to the One UI 8. Samsung has been working on One UI 7 for nearly 1 to 2 years. The One UI 8 may really be considered as an intermediate version that focuses on optimization. The brand has concentrated a lot on the One UI 7 and is still testing reliable the One UI 7 upgrades for several models. We know that the One UI 7 will be pushed out to additional models in the coming days. Users may be startled to discover the One UI 8 leaked shortly after the release of the stable version of the One UI 7. The One UI 8 is a user interface based on Android 16. Compared to One UI 7, the new One UI 8 seeks to give the newest Android version with minimal adjustments. We may also conceive of the One UI 8 as a version of the One UI 7 that will be visually better in the future. So far, modifications have only been observed in specific programs, such as Gallery and File Manager. 1. File Manager. The File Manager app exhibits subtle but obvious UI enhancements. The categories area has been graphically redesigned, giving a more attractive and ordered style. The major focus of the One UI 8 appears to be resolving any residual inconsistencies or rough edges that couldn't be entirely fixed in the One UI 7. It's worth mentioning that this early version of the One UI 8's File Manager is now confined to devices running Android 16 and higher, suggesting a dependent on the newest OS framework. 2. Gallery. We've also noted modest upgrades inside the Gallery application, suggesting Samsung's continuous commitment to enhancing its core app design. The lack of comparable adjustments in other applications shows that the One UI 8 is still in its initial phases of development. We've also observed modest tweaks to the Gallery app, demonstrating that Samsung is taking measures to further enhance the UI design. We have yet to witness analogous improvements in other applications, indicating that Samsung's design is still in its early stages. Given the projected debut of the Z Fold 7 and Z Flip 7 with the One UI 8, it's possible that Samsung aims to deliver this new software version within the next 3 months, concentrating on these incremental enhancements and the underlying optimizations of Android 16. The Now Brief function, previously limited to the Galaxy S25 series, is now planned to emerge on earlier devices with the debut of the One UI 8. This capability analyzes users' everyday habits to deliver individualized advice. While Samsung originally decided for exclusivity with the S25 series, it now looks that Now Brief will see broader distribution. We predict that premium smartphones like as the Galaxy Z Fold 6, Z Flip 6, and other high-end models will have access to Now Brief with the One UI 8 upgrade. Notably, the current version F956 BXXU2CUYD7 already supports this functionality. At least for now, the One UI 8 doesn't provide any new innovations. Right now, the interface is in the early development phase, providing possibility for more major adjustments in the coming months. But you shouldn't anticipate too much from this interface, and you might assume that One UI 7 is coupled with Android 16. One UI 7 will undergo minor design adjustments and will debut under the moniker the One UI 8. Samsung doesn't want the delay in the release of the One UI 7 to be encountered in the One UI 8 and is attempting to get the next upgrade ready with its full potential. What are your first impressions on this early peek at Samsung's One UI 8? What features are you expecting to see in the final release? Share your ideas in the comments below. So that is all for today's video. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more tech news and updates. Thanks for watching and see you tomorrow.